can just flat out run. I mean, he's so different. He's got a high aptitude for the game, processes things quickly, anticipates well, can make all the throws, and got a bright future for sure.
So, Sal,
yes, sir?
You okay with Dabo comparing Trevor Lawrence to Peyton Manning?
More than okay with this. I got the numbers here to support it, so I'm not speaking out of turn right here. But one was a generational talent since middle school. You know, when you used to show up, try to get a bean burrito and french fries and say hi to Alexis, and you had lunch tickets. I don't know if you did. I did. Had holes in my Nikes. Yeah, that was me. Dog, Trevor Lawrence didn't have that path. Since middle school, he's been the man. He's been the best at his position worldwide. Meanwhile, Peyton Manning wasn't even the best athlete in his own family at that time. His brother, Cooper Manning, he fighting over mashed potatoes with Cooper Manning. And Cooper Manning like, shut up, Peyton. Those are my mashed potatoes. He was a better talent than his own brother. That said, let's just look at the numbers right here. We're talking about both of these guys going to be ¡1 overall picks. So, okay, that warrants a comparison. Let's talk about how at Tennessee, Peyton Manning, 39-6. Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, 34-2. Uh-oh, Trevor Lawrence better record in college? Okay, whatever. Did Trevor Lawrence have a higher completion percentage, passing yards per game, passing touchdowns, and passer efficiency than Peyton Manning did in his college career? Yes, he did. What the? Did Trevor Lawrence never throw more than 8 interceptions in a season while Peyton threw more than 10 twice? If all those are numbers and facts, then yeah, I'm going to compare the two dudes. Is Trevor Lawrence in conversation for anybody else going #1 overall? What about Peyton Manning when he came out? Ryan Leaf in the building. And there's no comparing anybody right now to Trevor Lawrence, but at that time, there was a comparison for even Peyton Manning. Ryan Leaf. So, yeah, I'm with you, Dabo. Compare them dudes.
Bro, I wish all my friends, family, significants, and others talked about me like Dabo Sweeney talked about Trevor Lawrence. Ray ain't got nothing bad to say, not one bad thing. Like, everything he says is like, Trevor Lawrence is the greatest thing ever. But he's not talking out of turn, so I love the comparison. Like, we think of Peyton Manning now as one of the greatest quarterbacks to have ever played the game. But back then, to your point, Peyton Manning was tossing with Ryan Leaf for who was going to go #1. Peyton Manning was 0-3 against Florida, so people were like, okay, can Big Dog win these big games against these top-caliber opponents?
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence, on the flip side, knocked out the Big Dog, Alabama, in his freshman year when he was truly undermatched when you look at Alabama and them being a historical juggernaut. So, yes, when you have the hindsight bias of Peyton Manning, you might think that's asinine. Don't compare these little kids to Peyton Manning. But no. At the time, Trevor Lawrence is a better prospect than Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence has a mental aptitude, like Dabo said. He has the arm, but he can also run. And this generation of quarterbacks trying to put stress on defenses, you have to be mobile to some sort of capacity. So I respect it, but let's see if NFL analyst, our guy, friend of the show, Bucky Brooks, likes it. So, Bucky, you okay with Dabo comparing Trevor Lawrence to Peyton Manning?
I actually love the comparison because Trevor Lawrence wanted to be Peyton Manning. That's why he wears the number 16, because he watched him when he was playing at Tennessee, and that was the guy that really inspired him to play the quarterback position. I think when you think about Trevor Lawrence, here's what the comparison really is about. It's about, are you ready to be a franchise quarterback? Meaning, do you have the poise, composure, leadership ability, talent, and winning pedigree to lift a franchise and take it to another level? Trevor Lawrence checks off all those boxes. And so I think it's a rare situation where you have a guy who has been hailed and celebrated as a QB1 since middle school, who lives up to all the expectations. I think what's bigger than the comparison to Peyton Manning is in that same interview, Dabo Sweeney compared Trevor Lawrence to Steph Curry. He said he is the purest passer that I've ever seen and I've been around. When we watch him in practice, we marvel at his technical skills. And so when we talk about this guy's talent, talk about like the physical tools that he has. But what Dabo wants us to know is this dude is gifted and he works at it. So the Steph Curry comparison is the one that resonates with me even more than the Peyton Manning comparison.
I'm with you there. All right, let's go LeBron James. Let's go basketball. You know us. We always got to come with an example, metaphor, and an analogy, something. We just can't stay on script. Y'all remember Lenny Cook? Y'all remember he was better than LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony at that time? Now, at that time, you make that comparison, and then we all know that life has to run its course, and we'll see how that comparison turns out. You can make bad comparisons that will work out or not work out. But in the moment, was it a bad comparison?
Correct.
It wasn't a bad comparison at that time. This is not a bad comparison right now. Trevor Lawrence could fall off. Trevor Lawrence could become Lenny Cook. Trevor Lawrence could become nothing. It happens. We're watching it right now with some #1 overall picks. Be real. But the thing is, in this moment, and I always like to talk about the contrast between decisions and results. I think people who have an issue with this are focusing on the results. Like, I'm just projecting. I saw the sheriff. I saw Peyton Manning. There's no way he's going to be him. Yeah, but the decision right now to make a comparison is accurate. It's not out of turn. So no issues right here whatsoever. And y'all know Peyton Manning is my favorite quarterback ever. But still, at this moment, entering the NFL draft as a prospect, I see Trevor Lawrence even looking better than Peyton Manning was at that time.
You know, it's funny because when you talk about the comparison between the two, I will say this about Trevor Lawrence, because throughout this process, he really hasn't had to face a lot of criticism regarding his game. And I think the main reason is because people are willing to buy into the person and the character that he's exhibited to this point, meaning they're willing to say that because he does show so much poise, so much composure, he does have a winning pedigree, he has shown the leadership skill, and he has been big time on the big stage, that they believe that the NFL game won't be too big for him. And as much as we talk about being a franchise quarterback, being about the talent, it's really more than that. It's the responsibilities of being the face of the franchise. Can you walk in those shoes each and every day? Can you handle the pressure that comes along with being the #1 representative of the franchise? To this point, Trevor Lawrence has done all of those things. I think that is really where the comparison to Peyton Manning comes.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence said, you can't compare anybody to me. And Peyton Manning walking around looking at Ryan Leaf at that time, going back to 1998, it was a different animal. So, yeah, you could compare them. But just be careful how long you're going to make that comparison. We'll see. Coming up, Jalen Hurts was not named the Eagle starter today. We'll tell you if we have an issue with that. Damn it! That's next on Speak for Yourself. Y'all out there tripping in Philly.
That Lady T tried the Popeyes chicken sandwich.